What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another oil painting video. So today we are going to paint another portrait. So let's go ahead and get the surface ready. This is just a 9 by 12 inch cotton canvas panel. So it's a canvas that's mounted onto a panel. That's what I mean by canvas panel. So we are going to prepare the surface with just raw umber and black. The canvas was already toned a middle gray ahead of time with acrylic paint. Did this about last week. No special reason for the tone today, though having a dry tone on your surface can actually help make the darks and the middle tones a little bit easier to work with. So I'm just gonna put a simple little wash of color. This was taken right out of my container of linseed oil. So whatever was on this brush is a mystery to me. But anyway, this is safflower oil and spike lavender because we are going to use the alla prima approach to painting today. And pretty much every day. So now the surface is ready. Hey Tipu, hi Betsy. Well, thank you for the congratulations on YouTube. Oh, thank you for being here since the beginning. It's been a while. It's been a journey, and I would like to say it's pretty much still just beginning. But we're gonna definitely continue to push for more videos. Let's go ahead and start off with a little bit of a wipeout drawing, which you won't really see much of in terms of the wipeout. So the head is going to fit somewhere over here. Now obviously I didn't subtract all of the tone because I need some of the tone. This is going to be the anchor point of the composition right here. And this is going to be the hands. So you can already kind of see a ghost of where the model is going to be. So the head is going to be the most important spot on the composition. Right away, in the first 5 seconds or 10 seconds, I'm already making a point of where the bottom of the hands are going to fit. So now I can go ahead and start to draw with color. Like I said, this is going to be a alla prima style approach. Remember, my brushes, I just keep them in a container of linseed oil. I accidentally spilled it over the weekend. I was cleaning, we were doing some spring cleaning. Oh man, was that a mess. So be careful not to spill your container of linseed oil if you keep your brushes in a container of linseed oil, like I do. So this is just going to be a simple yellowish gray, a little bit of burnt sienna, make it somewhat orangey, and let's go ahead and use this to draw with. So say the face is going to fit somewhere about here, the neck maybe over here, shoulder somewhere about there. The head has we're going to put a little tilt to it. So shoulders are going to have a slight tilt. In terms of the composition, I'd say that the shoulders are probably going to be close to halfway. Chest area over here. Hey Harsh, welcome, welcome. Chest is going to be somewhere over here. And the all-important landmark or anchor point, however you want to call it, is right here. This is where the hand is going to fit. Right about here, bottom left of the canvas. I will move anything and everything I need to in order to make sure that the hand stays somewhere over there. That's where the hand is going to stay. Oh, thanks, Harsh. This week we're gonna do a lot of like outdoor looking color. Not with this one. This one's gonna be kind of like the usual indoor light, but if you like that one from last week, we're gonna do something pretty cool later on this week. A couple of pretty cool setups. Okay, hand is gonna fit here, but again, thanks for your comment. The angle of the head somewhere over here, and there's gonna be more light for the face right about here. So that's gonna be the size of the face. Approximately, that will be the size of the face. Oh, okay, the thumbnail. Oh, that's the one you were talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing more of those on the weekends, just because just my schedule. I want to do these live streams like as close to every day, but I think to be practical, I'm gonna have to let Saturday and Sunday be kind of like days off for me. At least Sunday. So Saturday I'll be uploading pre-recorded just like that. And I'm going to get started filming that today. So I'm going to do some more realistic type tutorials soon. Like every Saturday. We'll have a shorter upload. So the dress that the model is wearing. So Saturdays will be pre-recorded. Monday through Friday, excluding doctor appointments and stuff like that, which I might have a doctor's appointment this week. I'm going to have to double check, but yeah, Saturdays will be pre-recorded. Okay, so there you can see a little bit more of the model starting to develop. Again, hands, all important hands here. And the proportion of the head relative to the shoulder and the elbow there seems to be pretty good. Some of the bottom of the canvas is cut off, which is kind of my mistake, but at least you can see where the hand is going to fit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is start to add some of the drawing lines. Just some simple lines. Like I said, I keep the brushes in linseed oil, so they are going to have something on them from the previous. This is from Friday, so I'm going to just take some of the paint off. Make her hold the phone. Hold the phone. Some little drawing lines here. So the top of the head, I know I want to fit right about there. So just kind of following the outline. The hairline, top of the model's hairline is going to be there. Back of the head, right about here. This is just a black and red. Black and alizarin permanent. Oh, true. Length between the eyes is usually the distance of the width of one of the eyes. Oh, I'm glad that little piece of advice always helped you out. Ear is gonna fit somewhere over there. Back of the neck, like I said, there's a angle to the head, so that's gonna be important for me to get right away. The angle of the head, and the center line is gonna be like something like that. That's the center line of the head. The axes for the eyes, somewhere about there. The jaw. This is a portrait of a elderly woman, so the jawline is actually kind of compressed a little bit. So the forehead, let's make the forehead a little bit bigger. Somewhere about there. the neck about there. Model's shirt. These are our little drawing lines for the composition. Okay, so now we're gonna follow. So if this the bottom of the chin is somewhere about here. Angle of the neck is there. It's gonna be a tad bit more light on the shoulder here. Okay, so that's the shirt. Chest is about one head length down, approximately. Not always the case, but that's a fairly safe distance we have here. The hand could move up. Moving the hand up is the only possibility that we have for this composition. The anchor point for the hand, it cannot get any lower than that, but it can get slightly higher. Shadow shape for the shirt over there. Cast shadow. So we can move slightly up. By slightly, I mean probably significantly, but here. This is a good place now. And this is going to be the bottom of the lower, the right hand. So that's the fingers for the right hand. There's the knuckle for the left. Eventually I'll get my right and left confused. Okay, so there's that hand there. Okay, so that's good. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Close to perfect positioning. And it's because we used simple straight lines and angles. So that's good. I'm happy with the placement of that. Well, I went to a school called Studio Incaminati in Philadelphia. And I also studied in Baltimore, Maryland, in the place called Zoll Studio with a guy named Paulden Hamilton. I think you're asking me, or you might have been asking someone else. So there's the edge of the ear, sternocleidomastoid, right over there. Yeah, art school. Back side of the neck muscle, again, sternocleidomastoid. Okay, so the axis of the eyes is locked in place. Now we're going to put in the angle for the eyebrows right over there. Nose, approximately there. Mouth up here. Eye socket shape. Edge of the hairline, like that. Cheekbone. Light and shadow shape. Somewhere about there. Now, yes, it's going to be another tiny portrait, but you're going to have the close-up, which I don't know why it's kind of blurry today. Yeah, I don't know why it's so blurry. You can still see pretty good detail on the brush, but I don't know why it's so blurry. Alright, so shadow shapes. Kind of block those in. Cast shadow. Shadow shape for the neck. Sternocleidomastoid. So I got some complaints. I mean, I guess it would make sense that people will complain about it, but that these videos are too long. I would say they're actually kind of quick for these kind of paintings. Typically this would take a lot longer. But I think the main complaint is that these aren't edited. But if anyone is complaining about it, don't worry, we're going to have those pre-recorded on Saturday. So we're going to have the best of both worlds. Shadow shape for the nose. Mouth over there. And soon we're going to put in color. Cheekbone here, like I said, elderly model. So elderly model is going to mean that there's going to be a little bit more form. Let's call it form overlap right here. So there's the chin. Okay, so let's go back to the color. Let's start to mix up some color. Nope, sorry Betsy, I cannot show a reference picture because it's nothing against you or anyone. It's just it's wow, why is this flipped? Let me fix that real quick. So it's because some of my copyright-free references that I've shown are no longer copyright. So I am in a position where I live where there's no art groups for me to work with. I am on my own. So I have to rely on references that are copyright free from the internet. However, if I show the picture, they'll even though it says copyright free, somewhere down the line they will give me copyright problems. So yeah, that's kind of something that's been a problem for me recently. But it has nothing to do with you. I wish I could show you. Somewhere I can show them though is on either Instagram, Facebook, or Patreon. But again, I'm manipulating the reference. It's not going to be the likeness or even the same environment most of the time. So we're going to have a light and a middle, and a light, middle, and a dark brush. So this will be the dark brush. That'll be the light. And let's get a different brush out of the linseed oil. Let's mix something up for the middle. And I know all the other YouTube artists are able to show the reference and they have no problems. It's just me. I don't know. I feel like I was targeted. I mean, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like I was targeted by that. I don't know why. I'm not a big time content creator. I barely make ends meet with it, but I don't know why I feel like I was targeted. So this is going to be our middle. You can see light, middle, and dark, very clear. Well, yeah, anatomy is kind of a thing, but we just look at shapes. We'll mostly just look at shapes. Alright, now you've seen the colors that I mixed, so let's go into our little close-up here. Let's make this a little darker and more red. Yeah, something about like that. Something about like that. This is the concavity of the eye socket. And the dark shape over there. Dark shape over there. Neck muscle, also known as the sternocleidomastoid, right there. Shadow shape for the ear, which we pushed a little bit more red. gonna see the face start to emerge slowly but surely. Now we'll go add the light. Oh, thank you, Betsy. It's been a real struggle these past, I want to say 2 months, 3 months since that happened. It in particular hit two of my biggest money makers, two of my biggest money generating videos. It hit pretty hard. Luckily, my wife Lucy really supports me, helps me out. Without her, I would have tanked. I wouldn't have been able to make ends meet. Let's go back to the color. So be very careful with that, everybody. Just because they say copyright free does not mean forever. And again, I can sound like a conspiracy theorist, but even YouTube, even some of their music that they'll say is copyright free, they'll get you somehow. But yeah, call me a conspiracy theorist, but yeah, even that will be a thing. Unfortunately, it might just be the state of the economy, the way things are. It's kind of messed up. Okay, a little bit of light on the nose as we start to develop more form. There's going to be a lot of detail on the face. It's going to be the most detailed thing, but we're not going to finish the face and then move to the rest of the body. We're going to jump to the hands after this. Yeah, it's tough. That's why the pre-recorded that you saw on Saturday, in case anyone missed it, I did a pre-recorded for Saturday. I'll do short 15 to 20 minute pre-recorded tutorial style videos on Saturdays, kind of like what I used to do in the past, almost exactly like what I used to do in the past, but there will not be a photo reference for that, and I will be guiding you along the process to create the painting, but not to recreate the photograph. Oh, thanks, Betsy. There's so many creators here. Whichever your favorite pick is, it's okay. I've got students of mine that tell me that they're taking classes with other people or online classes with other people. It's okay, I understand. Okie dokie, now a little bit more red light on this. This is the neck muscle. This is a tube-looking muscle called the sternocleidomastoid. I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. This goes and extends all the way up here towards the back side of the ear, and then it connects right there with the clavicle, also known as a suprasternal notch, this little thing right here. Accent there for the connection of that muscle. A little bit of dark for the back of the hair. We're going to have some values for the hair. That mixture of spike lavender and safflower oil, and it's mostly safflower oil that I put on here, but that's what's helping the paint grip onto the surface better. Hey, Gigi. No worries. It's only been about 26 minutes. It's okay. Thanks for joining. Oh man, everybody. I don't really need to tell you this, but if you like spicy foods, now this is random, but if you like spicy foods, and this is going to be some gray here, you can develop a pretty good tolerance to spicy foods if you eat a little bit at a time. I took some time off, so if you take some time off of spicy foods, I put a whole habanero pepper in a chicken sandwich for lunch today. And I'll be fine. I can have like 4 of those at the most. I used to have 4, but man, that messed me up. I was running for the for the ice cream. I usually don't do that, but that messed me up. So if I'm sweating or anything right now, it's because I ate a habanero pepper like less than an hour ago. So yeah, don't take a break of your spicy foods in case you have developed a tolerance for it. Cause man, but anyway, that's just random stuff. These live streams are Monday through Friday, 1:30 Eastern Daylight Time, also known as whatever time of day it is at 1:30 DC time zone. That's the time I'll be on here for you if you're not in the DC time zone. A little bit of light for the fingers. Let's add the dark for the fingers first. In case you didn't notice, I really like painting hands. Hands are like one of my favorite things to paint. Oh, hey Betsy, you remember that? Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm renting in a different place now. With my wife Lucy. We got married 4 years ago. So 2021. 4 years ago. Shadow for the fingers, the wrist. It's gonna be over here. And it's okay to let some of the dark overlap the light, especially when you're working very blocky like that. Yeah, 4 years ago. And I struggled when we moved. I was so used to where I lived in Maryland. There were painting groups there that I could go paint with people from life. I even used to run some of them. Not so much. There's not so much of that here in this area. So now let's add some structure for the knuckle, and we'll continue to push these shapes up. Back side of the wrist here. For hands, always make sure that you have carefully considered the distance from the wrist to the knuckles. No matter what the foreshortening is, meaning no matter what the perspective is. Here, there's not really much foreshortening. And these hands are going to be a lot of fun to add detail to later. You just see the hands now. More light. And I like to add red, kind of in an exaggerated way, but I like to add little red spots there where the knuckles are going to be. It's kind of like adding the paint to save for later. It's kind of like saving it for later because I know I'm going to use it for the knuckles. It's kind of weird. I might be the only person you see that does this. I just have always kind of, and the same thing here, little spots of red. Yeah, I may be the only person you'll see that does that. I don't know. I just like putting those little spots of red. Kind of like saving it for later. But yeah, the schedule is Monday through Friday. Notice I changed the name again. It said Daily Upari last week. Yeah, right. Trying to do these every day like this is tough. But the weekends, gotta save it for family. That's why we'll have pre-recordeds on Saturday. But you're gonna get uploads 6 days a week, so pretty full-time schedule. You see the hands starting to develop, and we'll add something dark and red back here. Obviously darker than that. Randy, what's going on? I'm doing well. I hope you've been well. I have yet to, I know you're gonna ask me, but I have not checked the mailbox. We did a lot of spring cleaning yesterday. I mean, like all day. I'm like really sore from all that. I know, I'm such a weakling. Where the hands are going to fit. The fingers are going to fit on the other hand. No thanks, Betsy. A little bit of light for the fingers on the bottom hand. This is more or less a guesstimation. That's where the fingers are going to fit down there. A little bit of light for the knuckle. There's going to be a plane change here, which is going to make that more red. Maybe not that red. Something like that. Something like that is good. Light for the wrist. Today or tomorrow, but pretty darn soon, I'm going to start ordering prints from the pictures that we painted last week. I think the first one that I'm going to order is the landscape on Friday that I painted with the horse, the 3 horses. So I'm going to start selling prints. The reason I'm going to order that one first is because I like that one. I don't usually like my paintings, but I like that one painting. Now a little bit of light on that arm. And now we're good to move back to the face. So on the face, we are going to switch to the sable brushes, which I have to take out of my container. Oh man. See if you'll spot what's wrong with this. I put my brushes in the container yesterday to preserve them in linseed oil. See if you can spot what's wrong with this scene. Okay, so if you spot what's wrong with that scene, let me know. It's actually kind of funny. Anyway, so let's let's switch to the sable brushes now. I'm gonna start with a light brush and a dark brush. That's the kind of stuff I would laugh at. Okay, so a light brush and a dark brush. This will be our light, and this will be our dark. So I'll zoom you in. Whoops. I thought you'd be able to see the dark there, but I guess it doesn't show. Now we're gonna start to add some form here. And you know what? I think I'm gonna tone my canvases that gray color again with acrylic paint. It helps a lot. And I started kind of getting used to the white tone, but I shouldn't have to. Just pure laziness that I didn't tone my surfaces. But I can see the influence of the gray underneath. And you can actually find this reference on Pixabay, the reference that I'm using, but for the sake of the painting show, or the painting, whatever we're gonna call it, experience that I'm aiming to produce for you with these live streams, it's really not about a photograph. And I can, if I want to, and I'll do this on Saturday with the painting tutorial. I am capable of making a painting that looks closer to a photograph. I just don't like to. I don't really see much of a point in that. I just know that that's something that people are interested in the most. Oh, thank you, Betsy, for the super chat. Thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Betsy, for the $10 super chat. Let's put a heart on the super chat. It really helps with the channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Structure for the cheekbone. So we'll be here Monday through Friday, 1:30 p.m. DC time zone. Unless I have a doctor's appointment, which I think I might have one on either Thursday or Friday for my feet. I have a problem with both of my feet, which I don't want to talk about on the internet. So let's just say it's a gym-related problem. Standing on my feet for too many hours as well, playing pool. Thank you for the super chat. The light, the upper eyelid. adding lots of planes as we're going to continue to develop this face. Super chat is a way for people to tip me, like to pay like a tip for the channel. Well, thank you, Betsy. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, if not the day after that, if not the day after that. But we'll be here Monday to Friday, excluding doctor's appointments or, things like that. Lightmost facing planes. Now we're putting in planes. Planes, and planes. Alright, take care, Randy. I'll see you Friday. Thanks for stopping by. So the goal is to create works of art that we can market. So the idea is not really to produce a photographic thing here. Something painterly. Something that speaks to us. Paintings can speak to us in ways that nothing else can. And it's a very unique thing that we can do as painters. We can reach out to people in ways that can't really be put into words or sound. And from a distance, this will start to look more dimensional. So again, I really like portraits of people that are more than just the early to mid 20 something model that has the world ahead of them. You know, sometimes it's best to just paint, you know, real people with, you know, real life experience. Not saying that you can't have real life experience when you're 20 something. I mean, I thought that I did at that time. Hey, Lady Death. Welcome, welcome. It's a brand new week. Lots more paintings to be created. So again, these are long videos you can play as you're getting ready for bed. I hear they're good sleep aids, or while you are at work, something to play on the background. And if these videos are too long for you, don't worry, we're going to have pre-recorded shorter ones on Saturdays. These are unedited. This is a new series of painting videos. And maybe you'll also track the progress, because I want to get better at this type of way of painting. I want to be faster, more deliberate. I want to increase my paint handling abilities and increase my sense of freedom as a painter. Again, this is not easy to do. It's the most difficult challenge I've ever taken on. As Nelson Shanks would say, or a quote from Nelson Shanks, I don't even know if he actually said it, but it's in his Portrait as Fine Art video. You can't make a major difference doing things in a minor way. Hey, Libertas. This is along the lines of Caravaggisti painting, Caravaggio follower type painting, but also in the realm of painting real life stuff. But I can identify with the model's face that I'm painting. The way that she looks, the way that she feels in this painting is the way that I feel these days. As time goes on, trying to do more, trying to be stronger every day. And it's an uphill battle, but you're not in it alone. And there's real beauty. There's real beauty in taking those steps. These are silent battles that we deal with every day. But you're never alone. You may feel like you're alone. You're never alone. There's always someone out there willing to help, and even sometimes just listening to you. Just having someone to listen to you is all you need. Everyone deserves to be heard. Some people shouldn't, but everyone deserves to be heard. Nope, I don't know the person, GG, but some of it is made up. So some of this face is actually a combination of people's experiences and my own that I'm painting. A lot of it is made up. A lady block. I don't know what that one word means. Not sure if it's translation. So Gigi wrote differences at 66. The hair is whiter. Well, at 34, I can say that that's definitely kind of cool looking. I don't have the white hair yet, but kind of looks cool. It reminds me of Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Hey, Felicita. Welcome. Oh, and I see a woman. I don't know. Some of it's made up. There is a reference that I'm using for the tilt of the head, but I'm making some of the planes up. This is not a dagger brush per se. I don't think this is known as a dagger brush. This is a sable. This is a Silverbrush pure red sable. By dagger, I mean, I think you might mean like a animal hair brush. I believe these are synthetic. I'm not sure if Silverbrush is synthetic or not. I think it is. It's a synthetic sable. But I'm not actually sure. Okay, so we are now at 1 hour, so we're at the 1 hour mark. Which, to those of you that have been here before, you know that I take a break every hour, but I play a video for you. I haven't recorded any new ones, so I'll play the ones from last week. And I'll record some new ones later on this week. So I'll play the one with talking about perspective and angles of the head, as I did use perspective to draw the face today. Which, by the way, I angled the face more, in case you do find the reference that looks closest to this one. You'll notice I angled the face more. Oh, yeah, no, I don't know. I'm changing a lot of things, so ethnicity-wise, could be perhaps, I think, closer to like Peruvian, I guess I would say. I'm aiming more for maybe Peruvian or Bolivian. That's what I mean. Okay, so I'm gonna play that video for you. The one talking about perspective, values, and all that stuff, because we are gonna start to add more values like that one pretty soon. So from a distance, you'll see that the face is starting to emerge. That's about an hour, 3 minutes of painting. So yeah, the videos are kind of long, but it is a little bit faster than I used to paint. But anyway, we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna play a video for you. It's up to you whether you want to watch the video or not. However, we'll be back really soon. So I'll see you in about 5 to 7 minutes. What's going on, YouTube? I am currently taking a break from the demo, but while I'm taking a break, let's go ahead and look at a quick 5-minute method to draw any portrait, so any face. And this is just regular old pastel paper, and this is pastel, but you can use charcoal or pencil or whatever. So you struggle with drawing faces. Let's take a look at top and bottom. You can always start with a square or a rectangle. In this case, let's just call it a rectangle, kind of like SpongeBob SquarePants, but you always want to have the top and the bottom. Now, when you're looking at the orientation of the head, if the head is an egg, this is the eye. The center is about a half for the eyes, bottom of the chin, top of the head. Obviously that's not drawn to scale, but whatever. The nose and the mouth are here, and 1/3 from the hairline to the eyebrow, another third from the eyebrow to the nose, another third from the nose down to the chin. So if the head is turned, say this is the eyes, this is the nose, there's the eye socket, and that's the side of the face. Gives you the ears right in between the eyes and the nose. The head could also be in 3/4, so this would be the center line, so that means you're seeing more of one side of the face and less of the other side of the face. So how would you start what we typically tend to do is a 3/4 view. So start with your little oval. This is the little egg, right? This is our little egg for how we're going to block in any face that we want. So now, if we're saying that we're in 3/4, that means that the center line is somewhere about here. That means we're seeing more of this side of the face. So this is what you need to know. Now, this is the angle for the eyebrows. This is the angle for the eyes, which now gives us about a halfway point. This is the nose, the mouth. The ears are going to fit somewhere roughly between the eyebrows and the nose. So there is good old ear. And eyebrow, line for the eyebrow, mark for the tear duct. The tear duct typically falls somewhere right there around the corner of the nose, so whenever you see me do portraits, you'll actually see me make a mark on the tear duct and draw it straight down, because it has a relation to the corner of the nose, and it also has a relation to the mouth. So this is the tear duct. Now we'll go ahead and draw the eye, however the eye is going to look. The iris, which also has a relationship on a vertical axis relative to the nose. Eyebrows can look however you want, doesn't matter. Now the position of the nose. So the nose in 3/4, you're going to see more of this side of the nose than you are of this side. Just like with the eyes, you're going to see more of this side than that side. Sometimes a human tendency is to pull one eye towards you to try to make it straight, but if you're in 3/4, then every feature is in 3/4. So now this has a relation to the mouth, and this is the point of the mouth, the corner of the mouth. This is the bottom of the mouth. Now the bottom middle of the nose has a relation to the top middle of the upper lip, and this is going to give you an important distance between the bottom of the nose and the upper lip. This is extremely important for you to know, because sometimes the tendency is to compress it or to elongate it. And last but not least, all you want to know now is, relative to your model, what is the distance from this tear duct, I'm making the mark in blue, to the bottom of the nose. So what is the distance from here to here? What is the distance from this point here to the mouth? There's the middle of the mouth right there. And what is the distance from the mouth down to the chin? Now you will see that this constantly changes in the starts of all of my paintings. Now I know you can't see the edge, but here, look, this is one line here, one line here, one line here, one line here. These lines are marked in blue. The eyebrow can actually move around kind of easily. So don't worry too much about the eyebrow. What you're focused more or less, and let's make these final marks in blue, because the like I said, a 5-minute break is typically what I'll be taking between painting sessions. Typically, I don't want to work that long. Like I don't want to work an hour and a half straight, which I might have done. Who knows? But anyway, these are these points I want you to know. Tear duct to bottom of the nose. This is a relation that you can look at. It's tear duct to the bottom of the nose and the bottom middle of the mouth, and then the bottom of the chin. Now these points here, call this X, call this Y, call this Z, not to get too mathematical on you. These three distances are going to be unique to every single individual. For me, it's going to be different than it is for you. It's going to be different for your uncle. It's going to be different for your cousin. It's going to be different from every person. So you can, if you want to, when you're drawing someone, you can measure these points, but try the best that you can to just optically feel out these proportions. Once you learn how to work with different proportions relative to one another, so for example, from a distance, you can tell that this length A is optically longer than B. So if you're able to operate, A is bigger than B. But A is not 5 times bigger than B. A is probably maybe twice, 2 times as big as B. It really doesn't have to be that specific. So this is how you judge proportions optically, and this is how you're going to move up and down slightly little distances until you get the right placement of these features. Now, the main takeaway is this is how you start any human head from this angle. We can look at different angles another time, but it is now 7 minutes, so it's time to get back to painting. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see you right away, I guess. Okay, so let's continue with this painting here. We're gonna add some more stuff to the background, different color relationships, and then we're gonna jump back into the smaller shapes, the smaller planes. Hopefully you liked that break time video. Let's develop the planes for the shirt a little bit first. So mix up kind of a blue. It's going to be a white shirt. Now, like, there is a tone here, of course, so it's going to help. And that might be too blue, just something bluish, but not that blue. Try again. Yep, that's the value that I want, or value and color. Yep, Lottie, that's kind of what I was trying to go for, like Peruvian or Bolivian. Something like that. Light and shadow shapes for the drapery. Cast shadow is a little darker. We can put more blue for that. Drapery is really fun to paint. Okay. Almost ready to put some of the light on the shirt. Okay, so now we're going to switch to the light. This is why I like having a bigger palette. Which, oh, I forgot to mention. The palette is linked in the description box of the video. However, it's a bigger one than this. This is 8 by 10. Approximately 8 by 10. I think the actual measurement is like 8.11 by something like that, but the 9 by 12 size is linked in the description box for you. Is it 8 by something? This actually might be the one that I linked. I don't know. Anyway, this type of palette is linked in the description box for you. The exact same type from the same brand. So the same wood grain and everything. It's a really good palette for everyday studio painting or the occasional paintings. Now we're using the wet into wet technique to add the drapery. Again, this is similar to the alla prima approach seen by artists like Bill Alexander and Bob Ross, painting wet into wet. Only difference is we're not painting happy little clouds and landscapes. We're painting pretty much everything, not just landscapes. We're painting people, still life, wildlife, anything really. That's the challenge with this series, is to paint everything. Now you see the drapery start to come to life. Detail for the shirt. And this is as fun as it looks. A lot of different planes are being developed really fast, really easily, but with careful consideration for light and shadow. So the deal here, now I'm going to talk to you directly. I'm going to share some ideas with you, because as you see, I'm not really mixing much. I'm just using white and I'm adding it onto that part of the canvas. So I'm going to talk to you directly here. What I'm trying to do, my goal here is to paint something new Monday through Friday for forever. I mean, for a long time. The goal is to sell prints and the originals once they finish drying and are framed and all that stuff. But to create works of art that I can have in my own portfolio of paintings, but also share the experience of bringing you into the studio every day, in addition to my pre-recorded tutorials type videos. I want to be able to produce paintings that I can have on display and stuff like that. And it's not easy to do, because this is more than just a demonstration, because a demonstration implies a certain unfinishedness, a certain lack of trying to, let's say, have some more originality to what you're doing. And it's tough as a painter or any kind of artist where everything is very academic. It's very academic, it's very technical, and we can go our entire lives as academics, as teachers, and everything be very technical. And this is how you do this is how you do that. Here's the 5 things you need to know. Literally, I just uploaded that on Saturday. To go beyond that is very tough. It's something that I'm trying to do. And we'll see. I mean, we're producing the paintings. We shouldn't have any trouble with copyright. I'm making stuff up. And I'm using copyright-free images that I'm not showing, obviously, for that reason. So that's the journey that I'm bringing you on, everybody. That's the goal. Go beyond just the usual painting things that I've been doing, and really create works of art. And of course to continue to push the boundaries of what's possible for me to do. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. Hey, Mark L. Welcome. Now anywhere there's a line, we can start to eliminate it. So we're going to eliminate that line, which creates a nice edge. I gotta say, I'm really liking this method with this the safflower oil and spike lavender tone, especially with that gray acrylic paint underlayer that was dry when we started today. It's really working phenomenally. And of course this palette's getting nicer and nicer. I clean it every day in the evening time. I put the brushes in on a piece of plexiglass and put that in the freezer. But with a wooden palette, the surface gets nicer and nicer because every time you clean it, there's always kind of this residual patina or whatever it's called. And the surface just gets more slick. Like, I don't know, the feedback is different. It just gets better to paint on every week. Oh, the palette, I just put the brush, or I used the palette knife to put all the paints on my thing of plexiglass. I just put all the paint over here, put this in the freezer, and then I just use paper towels to wipe this clean. I try not to go across the surface with my palette knife to clean it, because from my experience that scratches up the wooden palettes. Though, of course, I will mix on the wooden palette with a palette knife. But I don't want to scratch this one up by cleaning it with the palette knife. Okay, now we'll use the dark against light, light against dark. It's going to be a warmish background. No extra medium is needed here because there's a lot of it already on the brush. Now we're getting rid of the lines. Putting burnt sienna into the background. I'm very much thinking of Mr. Sargent, John Singer Sargent, especially the backgrounds. They would have a tone like this. And of course, we know that he worked in the Alla Prima approach, Alla Prima method. Now, he wouldn't finish his paintings in one day, most of the time, but same kind of background color as a lot of his paintings. That's what I'm doing here. Now, of course, the bottom of the shirt, which I totally missed. This will actually help to outline. Let's add some blue. So help to outline the phalanges. And I know the bottom is cut off, just the bottom. You're missing about ½ an inch of the bottom of the canvas. Oh, sorry about that. Now we can get back to the details for the hands. And the hands are a lot of fun to paint. I mean, a whole lot of fun. Now let's get to light and dark brush, the sables. Thanks, Felicita. Yeah, many years ago, this would take me significantly more time to get to this point in the painting process. So this is definitely an evolution in terms of my painting abilities, and it's an ongoing process. It'll never end, so long as I, keep painting. So long as I live, basically, I will always push the limits of what I can do. And it's not just about the speed of how we paint, but the ability to be free. The looseness. And I don't mean looseness by how brushy the painting looks, but just how effortless the process is. This feels really nice to mix on. A sable brush and a Silverbrush, pure red sable combined with the feel of the new wave wooden palette with the neutral gray tone, and the paints themselves with safflower oil and spike lavender as a medium that we use to prepare the surface first. This is the best. I've got a little bit of arthritis on the fingers, and we'll paint that in. No need to hide it. I know some rollerbladers that just like skateboarders or BMX riders or whatever, that put their bodies in so much abuse over their teens and early 20s. They themselves develop arthritis in their 30s from all those injuries. But it's actually kind of pleasant to paint. It feels horrible on your hands, so I've been told, but there's something about the, hands. And maybe I should just be quiet, but you'll notice with the painting, the hands have a life to them. Thanks, GG. Yeah, I really like hands. There's a life to them. There's that knuckle. Like I said, I was saving that red paint for later. This is that later. Oh good, I'm glad that the hands are helping in with respect to the expression. You know, and to me, this is what portrait painting is all about. Being able to create something so human in its flaws, imperfections, and dare I say awkwardness. Something in the awkwardness as what we're doing here. There's something so human about this. Something that transcends time. Paintings can transcend time in a weird way. Yeah, and the way the paint flows, again, it's remarkable what we can do with this alla prima approach. You can feel the bone. You can almost feel her pain as she grasps her hands. Something beautiful in that. And this is just like the video I showed you during break time. How to create the form. just like I showed you during break time. Yeah, Gigi, I agree. It's something extra that's tough to put into words. I think you worded it nicely. Could be connection to the elders, wise ones. But culturally, I don't think it's like that so much as it is. Everyone's experience is unique. And no matter what the culture, the belief system, the person is human. And I think humanity itself is its own universal, we can say, elder ritual. I don't think it necessarily has to be with one particular culture or another. It's the way we experience time. Alright, so let's zoom out so you can see the hands. Much more form now, pretty close to being complete. That's how much form I would put with the hands. Now we'll go back to the face. Let's work on mixing some colors first. And then we'll get into the close-up view from there. Okay, so let me see. We'll start off with the shadows, push a little more depth into the shadows. The link to this palette is in the description box of the video. I'm not sponsored by this brand, though I'm going to try to reach out to a couple different companies, see if I can get a sponsorship with some brand for something, but this is by far the best palette that I've ever used to mix paint on. And a lot of it has to do with the tone that this palette has, this color. It's very unique. It's a wood grain palette, but you can see that it's stained. It has a stain on it. And a lot of times wooden palettes take years to develop this kind of gray patina on them. And this company made it so that you don't have to wait years, paint for years for your palette to develop that nice gray patina. Or however you pronounce it. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But anyway, I'm not sponsored by any companies. You don't have to paint with that. You can paint with plexiglass and it would be just fine. As long as you do that safely. Now, anytime you're going to push or add more values to the face, try as much as you can to actually push the shadows a little darker than you think. And now we're going to push the light on the sternocleidomastoid. He wrote fragile but soft powers, energy, human. I can definitely see that. That's a good way to put it. Power. Yeah, I could totally see that. So Gigi wrote, so I got older and I learned to relax. I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. Eternal dance that separates human beings from angels and demons. Oh, that's kind of poetic there. We're all human beings. Push, not lead? I don't know. Who knows? I don't even know the correct terminology for anything I'm saying. I can check that out. GG. Now, if I was doing a commission and someone, I think somebody once called this a jowl or whatever, like the double chin effect or something. I would almost always have to paint this out, and I hate it. I hate when people ask me to do that. A lot of you wrote force something or lead it, feel different. Yes. Force it or lead it. Well, I would rather lead, I guess, than force, right? I don't want to force anything. most of all, I just want to create an experience, a painting experience for everyone. Kind of like a different world. I'm the architect of a new world. And these are all little snapshots of that world. The ear is definitely gonna be bigger. Probably to about there. Jowls also includes the sagging jawline. Ah, okay. What's going on, Grace? I tell you, my last commission did not go well. I did one. It's not over yet, but basically, so let's switch camera modes to story time. These are long streams, so okay, we got 5 minutes till the next break. So let's go into story time mode. Yeah, I did a commission for someone at the pool academy, and I went there on Friday. It was also league night for Lucy plays in a league on Friday. So anyway, what happened was I brought the painting and I was told to do some changes to the eyes. So I was doing changes to the eyes, and then the client made me wait till I think it was like 1 in the morning or something, because he was playing a tournament there, which I totally get because I do the same tournaments, or at least I used to. And I waited until 1 a.m. for him to tell me, oh, my sister is also an artist. I'm going to take the painting to her and see what she has to say about it. So, yeah. He's still obviously going to pay me for it, but I would have preferred not to wait until 1 a.m. And I had plans with Lucy in the morning, which totally got ruined because, well, lack of sleep. We had plans to go out in the morning to a brunch, and that didn't pan out, which kind of ruined most of that day. So life is not easy as a portrait painter, and I don't like commissions for that reason. I've never had a straightforward commission experience. Okay, with maybe once, and that was with Trey. If Trey ever watches this, Trey, you were my best experience doing a portrait commission ever. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff you're gonna deal with, unfortunately, as a commissioned portrait painter, which I am trying to work my way out of. I don't know if it's unsure. I don't know. Aren't we all ready to edit our necks out of pictures? Aren't we all? Hey, Lottie. Well, yeah, we're yeah, we had a good time still. On Saturday, we went out to eat, and which pretty much that's all there is to do here is to go to eat and shopping. That's what we did. Eating, shopping, and that was pretty much it for Saturday. Sunday, we just did spring cleaning the whole time. Her family wants to celebrate on Sunday, some big birthday party. A lot of you asked critic wisdom, signal, some kind of advice for the world. Advice for anyone really is if there's something you love to do, something that you really feel like you have a passion for, just do it. Just like the Nike commercial, just do it. Because the more time you spend away from it, the more time you spend running away from yourself. I'm 34 now, so I've experienced a lot, and I still have a lot more to experience. But I was fortunate enough I knew that from middle school and elementary school that I loved to draw and paint from a very young age. And I've been pushing my whole life to do this. I have a very supportive wife. Even my friends at the pool academy, despite the story that I told you, they're still like really some of the best, supporters, like let's just say emotionally, that I've ever really had. So if there's something you love to do, just do it. I mean, Bob Ross started his thing later in life. He retired from the Air Force and then still went on to pursue a career in painting or paint videos. And he's Bob Ross. So there's always time. No, I'm not 33 now. My birthday was last week. I'm 34. Well, thank you. You were awkward he didn't commission his sister to paint it. That's what I was thinking. But it is what it is. I'm still thankful for the opportunities. I will say, I think 34 feels better than 33. I don't know, 33 was an odd number. I didn't really like it. 34 feels better. I feel younger than I did when I was 33. I don't know why, I just do. Alright, so we're going to paint for a couple minutes for the face, and then we're going to play another video for you for the break time. Thanks for the happy birthday wish. You wrote, if someone wants a portrait that you'd make. So yeah, I usually agree with or tell them that it's not going to look like a photograph. So in this case, the client knew ahead of time what the painting would look like. But I think he was probably just being a little difficult that night. He's a nice person, but yeah, probably was being a little difficult. But yeah, I usually will tell a client ahead of time, like it's not going to look like a photograph. Here are sample pictures of paintings that I have done that will resemble the finish that you'll see. Kind of like a menu, like, when you go to a restaurant, you're going to see a picture of that particular dish, and you're not going to get exactly that, but it's going to resemble what it is that you're ordering. Yeah, I mean, for some people, it's very personal. Like, they, the way that they feel about the painting is very personal, and their reactions to things can be very unpredictable. So it's kind of tough. But yeah, there's definitely people skills involved in being a portrait painter that I've had to learn. I was patient. I didn't say hardly anything at all. I just waited there and played some games, like some practice pool games, of course, while I was waiting, despite my feet having some problems with my feet. But anyway, you just gotta be patient and understanding. Which is why I'd rather do these kind of paintings than commissions. I much prefer this to the commission life. But I'll still do commissions, though, don't get me wrong. Okay. Just about that time. I'm gonna play. How about I'll play the video about painting an eye in 5 minutes again. I know some of you are like, well, we've seen that so many times last week, but maybe someone here hasn't. Do you want to learn how to paint an eye in 5 minutes? Do you want to learn a fast, easy approach that can, you can paint a more realistic eye than that in 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes? I'll show you how to do that. And again, if you do paint along with me and you share it on social media, help me out and use the hashtag #UpariArtist for that. Oh, that's true. I didn't sign it yet. Oh, that's a big one. I don't sign any commissions until cash in hand, basically, or check in hand. Nope, I don't sign anything until the transaction is finished. Yeah, no, I don't. Well, yeah, for realistic, you just use a grid. That's true. That's true, but there's ways to do it without a grid that involve just simple methods. Alrighty, everyone, do you want to learn how to paint an eye in 5 to 7 minutes? If you do, then stay tuned to this painting stream, as I will play that video for you right now. So hopefully you will enjoy it, and we will continue this painting right after. What's going on YouTube? I am currently What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another break time quick 5 to 7 minute oil painting. This is just a gessoed piece of wood. It was gessoed with acrylic gesso, and now I have added a thin coat of raw umber and black using a mixture of safflower oil and spike lavender. Now we are going to use the alla prima technique to paint a 5 to 7 minute eye. We're going to start off with white. This is going to create a sphere for us. And this is going to be the eye socket area right here. And down here is going to be the corner of the eye. This is the edge of the eye socket, and now we have the entire shape for the eye socket. The tear duct will be about here. Next thing we will do is go and get the dark brush. This is going to be just black and raw umber right here. So this is going to be our tear duct. Black and raw umber. This is going to be the end of the eye, and this is going to be the iris. Very simple iris shape there. And now we're going to put in the bottom plane of the upper eyelid, lower eyelid, and the top of the lower eyelid. Very simple, iconic looking eyeball shape. Next, we are going to go in with the light back towards the top of the eye, and this will give us the eyebrow right above. Nice and easy. So there's a quick little eyebrow. The tear duct is going to pick up some light, and this creates the tear bag area. And you want to work with a decent amount of paint so that you can apply different value changes, as you're seeing there, just by modifying how much pressure you put on the brush. So this is the tear duct here. See how it gets lighter? Less pressure will make this less light. And now we're going to have a little bit of light picking up on the top plane of the upper eyelid as it starts to curve around the back side of the eye there. We'll also pick up a little bit of light on the upper eyelid, and we'll also pick up a little bit of light on the top of the eye socket, which is going to create a nice gradation here. And these are just cheap pieces of wood that were gessoed with Liquitex acrylic gesso. They're cheap pieces of wood that are perfect for doing oil painting sketches such as this one. And less pressure is going to make this less bright as we work all the way towards the back side of the eye, finishing the first pass for this eye. Next thing we are going to do is add more light to the top, giving us close to our brightest light. And you can paint this in 5 to 7 minutes at home for practice. Simple practice. Now a little bit of light for the sclera. Remember, the sclera, the white of the eye, is not white, but rather some type of middle value. Now this painting is of course going to be in monochrome, meaning we're not going to add any values. But if you want to add, color, it's going to be in monochrome, which means we're not adding any color. But if you want to add color, you certainly can. But you see how much you can do without any need of color, and see how you can create this little gradation here with just white, black, and umber. And now we're going to add our darkest dark, which is going to be raw umber with a little bit of black for the pupil right there. And depending on the model, there may be some darker eyelashes, so we can add those eyelashes. The dark for the eyelashes here. And it all depends on the model. And we can adjust the eyebrows with the same brush, wet into wet. Depending on if the model has thick eyebrows, soft eyebrows, it's up to you. You can create whatever eyebrows you want. And what I want you to do is, if you can help me out and do this 5 to 7 minute study on Instagram, post it with a hashtag #UpariArtist. And this is the final light. Like I said, that's going to be the brightest light. And that is your 5 to 7 minute simple alla prima wet on wet eye. I hope you enjoyed this break time painting video. Alrighty, let's continue with this one. For the most part, the composition is there. The big shapes is there. So we will just continue to develop the face, and then maybe a couple things here and there. But really, it's kind of moving along pretty fast. So let's just go ahead and kind of just take this time to work on some smaller planes. What's going on, Jonas? Hope all is well. Sure reminds you of your abuelita. 13 kids, wow. 13 kids. That is a lot. 4 feet 8 inches, 13 kids. Wow. Did you ever paint a picture of your grandma? "13 birthday cards." That is true. That is a lot of birthday cards. So once again, prints will be. I will be developing some, or ordering, let's say, some prints of last week's paintings this week. So if anyone has an interest in prints from the paintings, I will start stocking up on the prints, including this painting. We will have some prints of this one as well. All of them. I want to have prints of all of them. And then yes, I will do the occasional craft show as well. I'm thinking I might just do a painting, live painting during the show if I can. I don't know. Lucy used to do craft shows in the past. I never did. I think I was just too lazy. I also didn't have enough smaller paintings. Everything I painted back then was big. So I'm learning how to paint smaller paintings. But you know, prints of these paintings can be made bigger. That's an interesting concept. A print that's bigger than the original. I never even thought of that. Don't know the work of Rian Portville. No, I don't know that artist, unfortunately. You did a drawing of your dad. Ancestry, thousands of cousins, yeah. It's crazy to think we could be walking right by our fourth cousins or something like that. We would never know. I wouldn't know. from the Netherlands. All these names of artists I don't know of. I'm kind of very basic when it comes to my knowledge of artists. Just Baroque, from the Baroque period. Some of the more recent ones from the 20th century. Some 18th century. A little glimpse of the light, the red on the cheek. Hey, Mirta said she looks... Aw, don't be sad. Every time someone mentions numbers, I always tell this story. Back when I was teaching in-person classes in my, I think I was mid-20s or something like that, I had a student, 90 years old student, 90 years young, let's say, taking his first portrait painting classes. He had only done landscapes before that, and he learned so fast. 90 years old, he learned so fast. He couldn't hold his hands straight. His hand had kind of like this, but it created a unique touch to a unique type of brush stroke to his paintings that I really was quite impressed with. 90 years old. He had to have someone help him with a wheelchair to push him around. He could stand, but he had limited mobility, so he would stay in his chair most of the time. But yeah, 90-year-old student. And to this day, there's an 81-year-old at the Billiard Academy that still can... it was very difficult for me to win some games on him. 81. So, you can do a lot. You really can. A lot of you said this person was a realist painter that painted fantasy type stuff. I thought about things like that, like dragons and stuff like that, but I don't know, my personality is kind of like, I don't know, I just want to paint things that are like more kind of closer to the human realm. Should I say that are closer to the human realm? Pardon my grammar. And yes, I am born and raised in the US. English is my first language. When did he start playing? No, he wasn't 10. He started playing when he was, I think he told me he was like 60 something. But yeah, I mean, you've got some pool players like Efren Reyes. If anyone wants to look up a pool player that's in their 60s that can still, or he might even be in his 70s now, I don't know, but he can defeat pretty much anybody. even still, he can beat some world champions. But he started playing pool when he was a child, so yeah. Yeah, I guess 30 plus years. Makes sense, I guess, why he can still beat me. Yeah, Mirta, you're always welcome here. No need to be sad. But I understand. I myself have been kind of sad for the past couple months. More because of what happened with some of the YouTube videos. Now the face is starting to develop more form. Kind of happy with that. Yeah, I started playing pool 3 years ago. I was 31. Yep, 31. But I don't really play hardly as much as I used to. We're going full speed ahead with painting. Yep. Yep, thanks for that, Lottie, of course. I much prefer painting over pool these days. I still keep my membership to this place because I really like the people. I like the people there. But no, I don't play as much as I used to. But it taught me, pool, learning something else in life taught me how much I should appreciate painting. Painting is something that I've always been drawn to. I've always been able to, understand in very deep ways, but pool, not so much. No matter how hard I tried, it's just not something I was born to do, and that's okay. Helps me appreciate painting even more. It's the same with anything. I mean, if you have a career or some kind of vocation that you've done most of your life, it's kind of weird to like start anew from something else. It's kind of weird. It's very humbling. It's a very humbling experience. I was once the young kid in the painting groups that got all the attention and stuff, and compliments and all these things. and surrounded by people that started later in life, but still were pushing hard. And so it just went full circle. I was the older one when I started something new. I was the one that was older and behind and was trying so hard but not really getting there. So it really, really made me appreciate all the time I've spent with painting. It was a very necessary experience, I'd say. But painting is definitely something that you can get really far at no matter what age. Like I said, I'll always use Bob Ross as an example because he started his painting career late. When he retired from the Air Force. Of course, he retired early. I think he was in his 50s. But still. Not very many things in the world you can start at that age. Build something out of. But painting is one of those. Oh, thanks, Grace. Life is special. I can safely say or confidently say I'm not getting headaches anymore from these longer painting sessions in this small room. The first two painting videos I did, I had some really bad headaches. And I think it was because small room and just the proximity to the Gamsol was hurting my head. And I have a little more evidence as to the mineral spirits hurting my head more because I was doing those adjustments to the painting for the commission on Friday night. Saturday night I had a headache pretty much the whole Saturday during the day I had a headache pretty much the whole day. So I think I'm starting to get sensitivity to the mineral spirits. But the spike lavender safflower oil mix that I'm using doesn't give me headaches at all. But it would make sense that I would develop a sensitivity to it. I've been doing this for years. It would make sense. So once again, these streams are Monday through Friday, 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. New series of painting videos. The goal being to create works of art that we can market. Oh, planes, planes, planes. Every time I said planes. GG, that's funny. Planes, planes, and planes. Every time I said planes. That's funny. Okay, so we're getting there with this one. Maybe a mechanic ventilator can help. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna get a air purifier. Or at least a new one. So maybe that'll help. Gigi, what is the question? You said, I know you do reels, but do you ever also do full videos on posts? What do you mean by full videos? You mean like something like what we're doing today? I mean, I would consider this a full video. I mean, I've done some edited ones. You mean like a short? You mean like a short video reel or a short reel that's a full video? Like with narration or something? Which would still only be about like 2 minutes long or something like that. I don't even know. Lessons? Yeah, my Patreon, I have a series of pre-recorded videos. I have a whole playlist, so my Patreon, it took a couple years of painting lessons to create that playlist, but now that I've created it, it's kind of universal for anyone to start from any skill level. On Friday, or was it Friday or Thursday? I think last week we had one of my students join the stream that did all of those projects and ended up getting her own commissions and stuff afterwards. But yeah, the link to the Patreon is in the description. The online classes are $10 a month. So that gets you access to the class projects. And of course, most recently, I have a one-on-one option, a private Zoom. That's of course, a little more expensive, but we could work on anything that anybody wants to work on together. Figure painting, portrait painting, landscape, acrylic, watercolor, oil paint, pastel. Anything you want to work on. Really? You said you wanted to rewatch a full live stream but only found it as a short reel? What? I don't know about that. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, let me know, everybody. If YouTube's not letting you watch these videos, the ones from last week, like the entire one, that's concerning. Oh man, that's concerning. That's yet another thing that would be bad. Somebody double check that for me, please. Let me know if you're able to watch the entire streams from last week. If not, please let me know so I can contact YouTube myself. Who knows how long that'll take for them to respond, but let me know. I already knew ahead of time that I needed to start, selling products and stuff to not rely on this platform too much anymore, but dang, I don't want that platform to be over with that fast. So, yeah, let me know. That's a scary one, so let me know, everybody. Somebody. It could be that the most recent ones, so like the recent videos still need to process. So after today, after this stream is over, if you're watching this live, it I don't know, it should be available for you to watch, but maybe not in HD. Not that I'm not using any like super high definition cameras anyway, but yeah, that's a thing. Let me know. That's kind of scary. Oh, okay, it was a while ago. Woo! Yeah, let me know. Let me know. That would be bad. Yes, I do post all of them. Though I haven't done any reels in a while. I only posted 2, I think, to YouTube last in the last series, the one before this one. But yeah, these are the full videos unedited. Saturdays I will be uploading pre-recordeds. So tonight, on my own, by myself, I will be starting to film the one for Saturday. Full schedule of painting, everybody. A little bit more definition to the clavicle. Well, I haven't done any live streams on Facebook, so I put Reels on Facebook because it's connected to Instagram. I mean, my Facebook is connected to my Instagram. Appreciate all the likes, everybody. Not on Instagram, no, the full streams. Just the reels that I did for the previous stream, but I haven't done any recently. I mean the previous series. So on Instagram you'll only find well, for one, the pictures of the finished paintings and short reels. Instagram will have the short reels. But no full. I don't think Instagram has the capability of a full reel or full video. I don't think. So sorry for any confusion there. Videos are on YouTube. Full videos are on YouTube. Only YouTube. Not on Instagram or Facebook or anything else. Everything else is just reels. So full videos, YouTube only. Because I don't think I can post the full ones on the other sites. They're too long. Okay, so the face is almost there. Not really much else left that I want to do. The shirt, that's kind of what I wanted the shirt to look like. As far as any kind of little details or something like design on the shirt, I don't really think I want to add anything to the shirt. Yeah, not really. So back to the hand we go. Last little forms for the hand. You know what? No, forget that. Let's add some more to the background first. I want to say the background can use some more, I want to say air. Her hair is tied up behind her head. I didn't really like the way that looked before. Okay, so you wrote a few times you tried to go along with you but needed more time. Okay. Well, hopefully these are a decent pace. Of course, you can always pause them or speed them up. A hat? Yeah, potentially a hat. But I think kind of like it as it is. I always have the old masters in mind. And yeah, a hat like for the Renaissance kind of times. But I think I think this kind of look is what I'm kind of after. It's kind of old school. Sergeant. I'm thinking about Sergeant a lot with this one. Nice little sharp edges now. Happy little sharp edges. I'm glad you liked the hair change there. Just so it looks like it's tied behind. You always gotta think of these things. kind of like the lost edge quality to this side. I'll leave it like that. This hand is of course foreshortened, so you're not seeing that much of it. Oh, thanks, Grace. I'm glad you like the shirt as it is. Yeah, I want to say that gray acrylic tone in the start of the video, I think really helped. I mean, the canvas was already toned neutral gray ahead of time, and it was just a canvas that I had lying around. So I'm glad that I used that. I'll be toning some of them tonight for tomorrow and the next days, the days after that. Thanks, Gigi. It's a little both from my mind and from the source. There's this ear is mostly in light, I think, in the reference. I pushed it away in the shadow a little bit and simplified it. Okay, so now we have some kind of ray of light in the background. I just kind of felt like that should be there. Oh, thanks, Gigi. Thanks, Lottie. This is fun, being able to develop this. It's a different sense of color. You'll see in the following days, we're really gonna push the color of the light. But this one is kind of more of a classic look. So a little bit more for the hands. Got 20 minutes left. These are starting to go by faster. Light brush and dark brush once again. Thanks, Mirta. more planes. So we continue to add to the subtlety of the hands now. Oh, thanks, Gigi. Really trying to push further with oil paint. Even with this new approach with the safflower oil tone, it definitely helps. Always pushing. Eliminating the need for the reference is another one. We're no longer bound by a reference. Reference has always been a suggestion, but these days it literally costs me. So forget the reference. We don't need no reference. We don't need no reference. It's pushing some form with the knuckles. We don't need a reference. I'm gonna keep saying that. It's like a song stuck in my head. We don't need no reference. Thanks, Gigi. Yeah, I am more comfortable. Especially this, the start of today. Like the whole thing today was more comfortable. Last week it was a little tough because starting a new series is always challenging, but let's even put some green for the veins of the hands. Yeah, but now just kind of chill. Some little veins. Those thinking badges. Don't need no reference. Where's the badges thing from? Sounds like it's from either a movie, a song, or something. Form for the hands. And this used to take me a long time, like a crazy much longer time. Like if I were to be doing this in a painting group from a live model, it would have probably taken me 3 weeks to do this. We're doing this in 3 hours. So definitely something to be said about this approach. And it's fun. It's fun to do. Famous line from 1948 film. The Treasure of Sierra Madre. Ah. From another world along with shapes. It's funny. Absolutely lots of fun. Well, thanks, Gigi. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, looser, more relaxed can lead to better outcomes. Just kind of, it's almost like dancing in a way, and I don't dance. The last dance I ever did was for my wedding, the first dance for the wedding, and that was it. Nunca más. Nunca más. Thanks, Grace. Really like hands, painting hands. I used to dread them too back in the day. Even a little bit of blue. Touch of blue. Flow, let it flow, that's true. What did I say? Nice wedding day, but I gotta go paint again? Kind of something like that, yeah. Something like that. You know, I've had my ups and downs with painting. As you know, I disappeared from YouTube from time to time. Always had painting in my mind. And it was tough not having a community of people to paint with. And even not having a group, not even having my own models to paint from, or, you know, real people to paint from. Now I'm just learning to make stuff up, use different sources from copyright free references. So, you know, evolution. Little age spots and freckles along the side of the arm. I'm glad you spotted that. You know what? That's a good idea, Lottie. I could do You know, it's sensitive for me to take the hand. I could do one of those 5 minute, 5 to 7 minute videos for a hand. Paint a hand in 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah, maybe for a future break time video. Oh yeah, hands. But there's ways to simplify them, especially with this technique. Yeah, I agree. If you're gonna draw them with light and shadow, with just outlines, they can be quite a challenge. But once you've done, enough careful studies of hands, you'll notice patterns with them that tend to always reoccur. Oh, in college, yeah, that's true. Drawing your hands is kind of one of those trademark first life drawing experiences. Thanks again for all the likes, everybody. Hope you're enjoying this new series. And if these are too long for you, don't worry, we'll have some pre-recorded videos on Saturdays. Now, from a distance, you'll notice that the hands look a lot stronger now. I'll change the pose or the position of this arm. It is foreshortened. I'll have this fade into the background. Which creates a nice illusion, pushing this forward. Oh, that's true. Yeah, the right hand could also be from somewhere else. But again, that's why we simplify things. a painting is kind of like a relationship. What's right is not always correct, and what's correct is not always right. So, just like in a relationship, it's not good to, keep track of things and say, well, you took out the trash or whatever, just for an example, X amount of times, therefore this and that. Like, in a painting, it's the same. Sure, this hand needed to be in a different place relative to this hand, yeah, but even if we draw it incorrectly, which I am doing, changing the position relative to the real life, it adds something to the composition. So it's technically not correct, but it is right. What is right is not always correct. What's correct is not always right. At the end of the day, it's your picture. It's your painting. It's what you're going to be showing people. Are you going to show them that you can create a literal representation of something, or are you going to show them that you can combine a literal representation of something with something of yourself? It's a tough balance, I'll say. It's a tough balance. Thanks, Lottie. Wow, it's already 5 o'clock, just about. We've got 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, we've got 2 minutes till 5 o'clock. So this has been fun. You'll see from a distance. Yes, I mean from a distance. For some reason, I don't know why, but in my head, it feels like you get further back when I zoom in and you see my scary looking face. All of a sudden, it looks different. So, last minute changes here, which usually just means to soften some edges. This one was looking too sharp. Then add a signature, photograph it, and call it a day. Any little sharp edges that don't need to be there will be taken out. We'll sign the bottom right. Pretty much right by the hand. Really appreciate everybody watching the stream, leaving a comment on the video or on the chat. Just hanging out with us. Sign right under the arm. I know you can't see the 25, it's cropped off. Okay. So there you have it. That is the painting for today. Oh, no worries, Janice. We'll be back same time tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. The schedule is 1:30 to 5 p.m. DC time zone. I'm going to put the brushes back in the linseed oil container. Monday through Friday, 1:30 DC time zone, and we'll paint all the way till 5 o'clock p.m. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Let's zoom back into the face. Hopefully when I exit out of the stream, it'll show this face for the thumbnail. If not, I'll just make my own thumbnail. So once again, thank you all so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.